Hey guys, and welcome to an Escape from Tarkov video talking about map guides. Now, what we're going to be taking a look at over these next few videos is going to be things talking about loot, talking about how people move through maps, and then also just talking about some callouts that me and my teammates use. This is specifically aimed at newer players, but those who are also looking to get into group play that have been playing solos, things like that. But without further ado, we are going to jump into the Shoreline video. So to start out talking about Shoreline, I want to talk about the points of interest for the map. Now, the main part that we're really going to is going to be this resort area. So I'm going to go ahead and circle that so you guys can kind of see what I'm talking about, but it's just this area right here on the map. Okay. So when people spawn in, this is going to be the automatic place where people go to right away due to the fact that it has a bunch of loot. Now, if people decide not to go to the resort, sometimes what they'll do is, let's say, and you'll see the spawn points later, but people spawn over here, right? Sometimes their pathing will just be down this road, check out these stores right here, maybe sometimes hit this village up that's right in here, and hit these, I like to call them locked and unlocked. And then what we see to tend to happen is that if they are trying to stay away from resort, they will path back out on this road up into this mountain range over here to kind of overlook gas station, which is right up here. They then from there have two options, which is just to pretty much go down to pier, loot the building down there, see if extract is open, or they circle all the way around and go down this road. Maybe kill a couple scavs along the way, and then finally extract over down in this bottom left hand. But that's kind of the points of interest. So you kind of see where the circles are at. But these convenience stores, these villages that are right over here, and then these two cottages. You also have the resort, like I talked about already. And then you have this building that's in the middle, which is known as the power plant. You also have one last one. It's kind of an overlook on a hill. A weather station. It just said, I will have callouts available for you guys, and I will post that link down. Now, let's talk about pathing for PMCs, okay? And we're going to start over here on this side of the map with the Road to Customs extract, right? So with the Road to Customs extract, you have the second closest spawn to resort, okay? And so people tend, when they spawn up here, to just go straight to resort. You also have the option to go down path this way, and a lot of people will get into these hills just to kind of take cover because PMCs do spawn down near the construction zone at the bottom of the map near the shoreline. Now, these PMCs have a couple options as well. They can continue down the path of the road headed towards pier and the gas station. It may be made up with these PMCs, and usually what happens is that these PMCs end up right about here, and you'll end up like right about here, just as you guys will start to kind of meet and start to engage in fire with each other. Or you push out and you meet up with these guys either somewhere in this area of the map, or maybe at the weather station, or you meet them on their way up to resort. Shifting over towards tunnel extract, you'll actually see PMCs, like I said, move towards gas station to engage with these PMCs that spawn down near construction. They will either go into these villages and try and loot and meet up with these PMCs over here in the corner. But this spawn over here and meet up with those PMCs somewhere like right around in this area. Or you'll have these guys go straight over and cut across. And sometimes these guys still meet up, but also this is another close spawn. And I'd say that this is the third close spawn to the resort. So those PMCs from this side are usually the ones that end up going to, oh, you guys get a little Twitter feed in there, okay? So be sure to go check out the Twitter if you guys have not yet. But Um, these guys will path over towards resort. And sometimes these PMCs will even meet them up in this Green Hill area or down at the bus station. The best spawn, in my opinion, if you have the keys for Shoreline, okay, is going to be this spawn right here at the back towards to go and meet up with them at Rock Passage. This is Rock Passage back here, okay? So these guys will push in to the resort and they have the best chance of getting the best loot due to the fact that a lot of the loot that's really valuable tends to be on the east wing side. Those are the more sought after key. These keys are ones that contain highly valuable loot in them. So that's kind of how the PMC pathing works in Shoreline. Once you're in resort, it kind of changes up a little bit. This is a map of resort. Now, I've taken it and kind of changed the color of it a little bit just so that you guys can see on YouTube a little bit better of what I'm talking about. But one of the things you'll notice right away is you have 3 different stories, okay? So I'm going to mark here that this is first. You really can't see that. So this is first right here. You have second floor, and then you have third. Okay. Now, this map view is looking at it as if you are facing towards the shoreline. Okay. So on your left side here, what you have is the east wing, and then you have west wing over on this side. Now, each wing has a lot of good stuff in it. But once you get in, it's kind of based off of the noises you hear, and you guys fight back and forth over and over again, kind of deal. And that's how the pathing will work once you get inside resort. Okay, so let's talk about the loot that's on Shoreline. Shoreline is known as one of the most popular maps for loot due to the fact of the amount of loot and the amount of valuables that are on Shoreline itself. Like I said already, there's a main focus on resort. It is a point of interest for the factor of the amount of loot that is there. But let's take a look at other things before we hop into resort, okay? So the first thing that we need to notice is that down here in the pier, there is a building. And so you can't really see it because it's kind of hard to see on this map, but I'm just going to circle that pier building. Inside that pier building, there are 2 safes along with 4 different filing cabinets, and you have 2 PCs that are in there as well. You also have this weather station that's up here. So it's just where I put that little red dot. It's kind of hard to see, but I'm going to circle the building. Basically, at that building, there is a safe inside of it that is also lootable. You do have power station, and power station really isn't amazing. People go there for the fact of trying to find keys for Shoreline. Now, let's talk about cottages real quick. So, this cottage is unlocked. This one circled in red, okay? However, the cottage that is circled in blue is locked. In order to unlock that door, there is a set of water barrels right outside the cottage. Look on that set of barrels and you can find a key there to unlock the cottage doors. Inside of the blue cottage, there's a safe as well as a really valuable room with another safe, but that safe is also locked. Okay. In this red circle, this unlocked cottage, there's 1 safe inside there along with a weapons locker. Loot spawns tend to change from wipe to wipe. But what I have noticed is in this village, in this set of first houses, there are a lot of duffel bags. Now, inside the duffel bags, you have a chance for a Bitcoin to spawn. Very often, and I would say almost every other day or so, when I am playing Shoreline consistently, I can go into one of these houses and end up finding a Bitcoin, things like that. So that's a good thing to keep your eye out on. Let's focus on the main part of the map though, which is the resort. So now that we're looking at this, we're going to talk about all the red dots. The red dots are all locked rooms. You cannot get in them without a key. There's a lot of valuable stuff within resort that you don't need a key for. So whether you want to push to east wing or west wing, it's your choice if you don't have keys yet, and that's completely fine. If we take a look at the first floor of west wing on the right side of the screen, what we notice is that I only have 2 dots down here, the 112 door and the 104 door. The key is very valuable itself. The 104 also has a couple of meds in it that can be very useful. 205 doesn't have too much loot in it, just kind of bits and pieces. It will have a weapons crate laying on the ground. 218 and 221 for West Wing. These are highly sought after keys due to the fact that inside there you have the chance for the red labs key card to spawn. You also have several weapon spawns for a M4. I've seen an SV98 appear in there, along with a couple of other weapons. You also have a weapons crate, some spare cash laying around on the table, and a bunch of different kinds of meds. If we take a look to the other side of the hallway, we take a look and we see the 220 door. The 220 door, inside of there is a spawn for a lion, Bitcoin, very high value items, along with a couple of weapons cases, a grenade box, things like that. 216 and 219 are basically the same thing. They also have a couple weapons crates, different stuff for you to loot. We come up top. 306 is known as Dead Scav Room. This is also a quest room, and it will have a couple of dead scavs. Now, dead scavs have chances to spawn some kind of valuable items on them, cash, different stuff like that. There can also be morphine laying around in the room, as well as a medical crate to loot. 301 also has some good loot in it as well, with a chance for an SV98 to spawn on the bed, is where I've seen it. A couple of computers, a weapons crate, things like that. We take a look, trying to move across over to the west wing. You'll see this room is like a double room, the 206 room. Because once you unlock the 206 door, you also have access to 205 as well. The way this works is that there is a balcony that connects the two rooms together. There is a chance for a Bitcoin spawn in the 205 room, and there's also several weapons crates along with some medical bags as well. We want to pop down the first floor real quick. We'll see that I have 107 marked as well. 107 is just a medical room. That one you do need a key for. I do believe that also the 106 room as well is a locked door that you need a key for. It does have medical supplies in it. We move up one floor. You'll see that I have 222 and 218 marked. The 222 room is also very highly sought after due to the fact of the amount of weapons that can spawn in that room, along with when you go into the door and take a look off to your right, you'll see there is a box that is open. Now, inside of that box, you have a chance for a Bitcoin, a lion, a cat, and the horse statue. Like I said, there's definitely some weapons crates in there, so be sure to loot those up. And then make sure you go outside the balcony to go over to 218. This room is also lootable as well, with things on the shelves, a weapons crate, and a weapons locker that is right outside on the porch. If we move up to third floor, finally, we'll see that I have 308 and 306 marked. These rooms are both connected to each other. You can obtain keys for both. Inside of this room, you will find some weapon racks. Sometimes they have AKs on them. If you go over next door, you'll find some computers with also a chance for a DVL spawn. 314, 316, and 319 are all the same, but they are also highly sought after due to the fact that you need them for quests, and also that they have some pretty good loot in them. You can find different bits and pieces, a couple of weapons crates throughout these rooms. 328 is one of the last rooms we'll talk about. 328 is this room all the way back over here. Now, in 328, what you can expect to find are a couple computers. There's also a quest room as well. And there are a couple of bits and pieces for weapon attachments laying around. There are chances for gold chains to spawn in this room, along with a couple of euros, rubles, or dollars. Now, the last room that I have not talked about yet, the 310 room. This key is easily attainable by going into the trailer park on customs and looting the key off the bus. If you get this key, people highly search for it, and sometimes people don't find it. So it can go for a lot of money on the flea market. This room has chances for 2 bitcoins to spawn. Does not happen that often. There's a very low percentage, because for the percentage for a bitcoin to spawn in one area, it's low to begin with. So sometimes you can find things like that. Other times you'll find lions, you'll find money on the table, and whatnot. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the video for the Shoreline new player guide. I do appreciate you guys checking it out. Be sure to like and subscribe. We do stream every single day on Twitch, starting at 7 a.m. to 12 p.m. But for now, I will see you guys in the next video.